dictators there may be, but we are not known many things about North Korea, so we cannot comment on this, right? So that is maybe in 100 years from now, or maybe 150 years from now, maybe it will repeat again, right? So that's why this question. Now, my chapter is youth in Nazi Germany, and we have seen a boy. But when this click in our mind, youth means we always feel like that the 18 years or above. But here we are going to bifurcate this chapter into three parts. And so I am only taking the first part, that is youth. Here I am taking below 10 years children, right? And the second part is talking about the children who are 18 years and above. And the last is the cult of Nazi motherhood. Okay, so that is what the cult of Nazi. These are the three different parts. With this, we can understand. But because of the less time, so I am going to take only one part of that. So now I'm going to make you understand. Before that, I'm asking host ma'am to whatever I have written, the web chat I have prepared. You please share this on the screen.
It is already
So
done.
we can, so it's that we all can see that Hitler first line is Hitler was fanatically interested in youth of the country. Okay, it was written there. Hitler. So now a big question comes in your mind or pop up in your mind. Why the line which I underlined, interested in youth? Why it was interested in youth? The question arises in your mind. So I'm going to make you understand that it is very easy when we are having the saplings with us, when we pour water into that, and one day it will become a tree. The way we are going to take care of that sapling, that tree will remain like, give you fruit like that way. That's why Hitler always focused on children, because today if they were going to be raised out in the ideology of Hitler, one day they will become one Hitler in the country, right? Then the question is why Hitler focused on youth, because only that everybody become the Hitler, that's why? No, because he wanted the strong Nazi society. Hitler will not remain forever, but he wanted that his country should be always based on the strong Nazi ideology. Now I am talking repeatedly the Nazi ideology. Here I am, when continuously I focus this, it means that Nazi here means that ideology which are based on, basically there are so many things, but which are based on racist Germany. That means that racial country, right? Strong racial country. Now, for making the strong racial country, the third point is teaching Nazi ideology to the child. Student, you are having your own children with you. So you today, how you are going to pour your concept or your teachings to the children, your children or your child, whosoever, one day they will grown up with that ideology, hai na? If you are today, you are going to give good things to them, they will definitely be raised as a good human being, right? So teaching of Nazi ideology to the child means what? That the Nazi, that the racist focused based on races, that should be poured in the mind in a very deep level, so that one day they will become the Nazis. Okay. Now, offroot of the example is that today, if I am going to sow the seeds of mango, 20 years after it will give me the mango only, it will not give me the neem, right? So like that way. So then how I am going to pour the Nazi ideology to the children? Uh, am I going to everybody's place, or was Hitler gone to everybody's place? No, no. How he is, the media is the school, where you know that in a school it is absolute wonderful that students were going were and are and will be growing up in the school. So whatever you are going to pour your teachings to the student, they are definitely be like that. Now what happened to the school under Nazi? Now question arises, ki ma'am, if there is a Nazi Germany, and then what happened to the Nazi schools? So all the Nazi schools were cleansed and purified. All the Nazis, I'm using the term, all the schools of Nazis were cleansed and purified. And I underline also. Now, what is the meaning of cleansed? Clean means that it is very clean like that way. No, because there were so many other different group of children were there. But Hitler only focused on the Nordic Aryan or Aryan. Now question arises, what is Nordic Aryan? So the Nordic Aryans were those who were having the blue eyes and golden hairs. Okay, so they were the Nordic. Apart from that, whosoever were, they were segregated. Segregated means in the school, uh, they were sit different. They were sitting differently. The Nordic Aryan, the Aryan or the Nordic Aryan, they were only focused. Okay, so and purified means they were raising as a good children, purified children, and other were considered as the undesirable children. Undesirable means they were, or you can undesirable or any other kind of they address like that way. Okay, uh, handicaps also like that way. So now children were first thing is that clean school means in Nazi school, in Hitler school, children were segregated and undesirable children were thrown out of the school. So first of all, that school student, he was going to differentiate that who were the or Nordic Aryan, they were going to be in this room, and others were going to be segregated, then they were going to be thrown out. Now question arises that when once they thrown out, where they gone then? They had to put into the gas chamber. Here I'm not talking about the gas where you are going to cook your food. Here I'm talking about the gas chamber from where Hitler released some poisonous gas, and at a time mass killing was were there. Okay, so in the end, that all children who were not belong to the Nordic Aryan, they got the degree in the gas chamber. Means the innocent children were being killed in the gas chamber. Right? I hope you understand up to this. The next is that now how can you know Hitler? Definitely Hitler not gone to the school every day to check who were the Nordic Aryan. So his next step was that he was raising the teachers like this way, that they were going to be politically reliable to the government. Means the teachers who were due first, the way he did with the children, same procedure he also focused with the teacher, or he taken the action like that way. The teachers who were Jews, they were again termed as a political unreliable. So first of all, dismissed all that teacher, because they were never being taught the children in a Nazi ideology. Definitely, we also are the teacher, so we know many things about the government, right? But we are not going to share this thing with the children that our government is like that way, Congress is, BJP. We're not going to take this thing. I'm sharing it to you because you are the teachers, that's why. And so we are not going to share this with the student like that way. So we are going to give the positive direction towards the student. So here again, I'm talking about many teachers may be like that Jews who were children can easily understand that Hitler was our God, but maybe it was definitely very difficult for some teachers to accept as a Hitler as their own God, those who belong to the other groups, right? So they did not take Hitler as their God, right? The teachers who were Jews were That's why they are, I'm saying, the Jewish teacher were considered as politically unreliable. Naturally, Hitler believed that the teacher who were Jews, they were not going to teach the student in the way that Hitler wanted from them, right? So the next is, after that what happened, the good Germans subject to the process of Nazi ideologies. Now the segregations were there, and the children who belong to the Nordic Aryan, they were addressed as a good Germans, and now they were going to be a process in a Nazi ideology or Nazi schooling. Means the ideological training started. Okay, right now. Then where they were mentally and even mentally, or you can say physically also, they were prepared in a way that whatever happening under Nazism is right. Means Hitler is somehow or the other is absolutely right. He was not at all wrong. Okay, so where they were pouring in the mind of below the 10-year students. So from beginning they were taught like that way, that Hitler was the god, and whatever he had done till so far, it is good, it will be good, like that way in those periods. Okay, so that for giving this system, he also changes the course or syllabus of that. So first point of this your book, there I have already written, you can go through this. Textbooks were rewritten. Means whatever the textbooks earlier were, that were going to be revised by Hitler. Second point, he compulsorily introduced the racial science. Racial science means that, again, it means again the race, that is the Nasl Pratha. Racial science introduced, and stereotype about the Jews were created in the school. Means wherever there were Jews, they were tortured by the Aryan children or the Nordic Aryan children, right? So children were taught to be the loyal and submissive, and children were also taught to be loyal and submissive for whom? To whom? Towards Hitler. They would be loyal and submissive towards Hitler. That were these trainings were given by the Hitlers in the school through the Nazi teachers, right? And by the side of that, they also taught the children hate towards the Jews and worship Hitler. Okay, and how they were, this were to mind setting. Now mentally they were absolutely trained. By the time when they were in the book, the second part was written like that, which I am not going to share because of the already time over. So that they were taught like that way, and by the time of 14 they were absolutely grown up by the mind like a Nazi. Now, how physically? So, violent sports were promoted to make iron hearted. Violent sports is what? That means that boxings were introduced. You know, boxings were introduced in the school, so that became the strong iron hearted student as well as a masculine and strong. With this, if necessary, the student only started spreading violence towards the other group of the people, right? So this is what about the first part which I shared with you. So ma'am, can you share that games also? Yes, here you can see the picture, that how the Jews were segregated, they were standing. Though I'm not saying that their color were not fair, they also were fair, but they were not like the Nordic Aryans, right? And the second picture here you can see that how they were giving that training of the boxing to the student. Okay. Now many of the here you all are sitting with me, so you have maybe this question come in somebody's mind, that why Hitler having so hatred towards the Jews. Okay, so first thing is that the Jew, it's only the racial, he wanted the racial state. Okay, racial is S capital means the country. Here I'm talking about the S capital, racial state or racial country, right? And second thing is sometimes it means, that's why he wanted that wherever the or wherever the expansion of Hitler in whichsoever the country, that all is being under the mighty Nazi Germany. That means that racist Germany should be established. With this, I am going to complete my first part of Youth in Nazi Germany. If you are having queries, you can ask me one by one. Okay. I hope you understand, and hope I am little bit able to make you understand. Yes, ma'am. Sure. Yes. Thank you.